This is the Cal One-on-One podcast on Cape Atlantic Live. Here's your host, Nick Kosko.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Cal One-on-One podcast right here on Cape Atlantic Live, presented by Ulmer's Appliance Service. I'm your host, Nick Kosko, and with me today to continue our baseball preview series is Mainland head coach Billy Kern. Coach, thanks for joining me. Good to talk to you once again. You guys come into 2024 as the defending South Jersey champions, made a run to the state title game last year. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can do this year. So I'll start you out with this. How has the offseason been going from last year into, of course, this past fall and winter, and obviously into a new spring season?
It's been a good offseason. Thanks for having me, first of all, and thanks to you and Matt for putting this on for our league. Really appreciate it. In terms of the offseason, we're really, really healthy. We've been able to have a really nice group of kids coming back. We only lost 3 seniors from last year to this year, and as I'm sure you know, the fall sports at Mainland were good. The winter sports were really good. So a lot of positive things going on in Linwood right now, and a lot of people have kind of said jokingly, you've had success in the fall and winter. You guys got to go win. And I don't know. My counter to that has kind of been, well, maybe we started it. Maybe we don't have to finish it. Maybe the run started in the spring.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, you obviously have been a part of pretty much every season as a coach in some capacity. Of course, the Mainland football team winning a state title, the girls basketball team a state championship, Mainland boys making a run with their South Jersey title as well. I was going to say this for later, but you brought it up already. What's that like, knowing that you guys won your sectional title last year on the baseball diamond, and then you go into the 2024 season saying, all right, we bring a lot of guys back, have a lot of experience, a lot of great players on this team. We can think about a state title in 2024, but we just saw in the fall and the winter, as you alluded to, all the success at the school. What does that do for your baseball team?
I think the best perspective we can have moving into the 24 season, and I kind of already spoke to our guys about it, is I kind of hesitate to use the word defending champions and instead use the word reigning. You don't really get to defend championships. You don't automatically get to go to the game in late May or get to go back to the June state final. And basically what I've been trying to say to them is we just need to have championship habits every day and enjoy our reign as champions. And if we do all the right things, if we win that South Jersey semifinal game, hopefully we can get there. We get to call ourselves defending champions for about 2 or 3 days for when we get to play in that championship game again. So I've tried to just let them know to just embrace this season, embrace every game, try to put together championship habits at practice that equate to getting a little bit better each day. Because, I mean, the name of the game is playing really, really good baseball in late May. So if we can try to keep getting a little bit better every day, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be illness and injury, and so to try to start talking about championships and things like that this week is, I think, getting a little ahead of ourselves. We're just going to try to win on April 3rd and see what happens the 4th, and just try to keep getting a little bit better, and hopefully we're playing our best baseball at the end of May.
April 3rd, opener at Ocean City, the arch rival of Mainland. Of course, that's going to be a good one. So 14-14 last season, as we alluded to. South Jersey Group 3 champions fell to Morris Knowles in the state final. But again, you return a lot of experience, as you alluded to before. Jake Logic has been the talk of the town in Linwood and around the surrounding area, the University of Miami commit. Just a little bit about him and what you expect out of him this season.
We're pretty fortunate with Jake at the top of our rotation. Obviously, he's a big-time arm. He had a great season last year, really physically matured in the offseason, looks a lot bigger, has command of all of his pitches. Obviously, that Miami attached to him as a young sophomore is a little different when he's a little bit older now and he's kind of come into his own. We're very fortunate that a weird kind of statistic for us coming back. We didn't throw a pitch with a senior last year. So every single pitch we'll throw this year is mostly going to be with guys who had experience on the varsity mound last year. So we'll get Finn Haynes back. We actually he was projected to be our number 2, number 3 last year. He missed all last season. He'll be back. And when you say Cohen Cook's name third, which is kind of insane, he's kind of our Mr. Everything. And the highest compliment I could give Cohen is kind of outside of maybe Christian in center field, who's starting for us for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of pencil his name anywhere on the field and feel pretty good about it. He's kind of Mr. Everything for us. So they're going to be probably our top 3 starters. Brady Blum's coming into his own on the mound. We have a transfer from Holy Spirit, Luca Bruno, left-handed pitcher, that did a nice job for Coach Normain at Spirit last year. And then some of our relief guys like Ethan Mitnick did a great job for us in the playoffs. Will Hickman's a young sophomore that we really like, is coming along. So we're really fortunate right now in terms of not just the quality of arms we have, but we have some depth and we have some options for some of these, without fail in South Jersey, these 4 and 5 game weeks that are going to stack up at some point because of the weather.
When you talk about a guy like Cohen Cook, and I'm sure he's been talked about ad nauseum since the beginning of the fall, where you saw what he did on the gridiron, saw what he did on the basketball court. Of course, the basketball team's all-time leading scorer now, as we saw that basically just about a month ago. You mentioned how you can play him pretty much anywhere. I got to imagine that's pretty accurate. You put him in any position on the field, whether he's pitching or he's fielding, or whether he's the DH for all I care. It seems like he actually can do everything, and he's basically one of those catalysts for your baseball team, especially when you need somebody in the clutch.
Yeah, he's not super vocal. He just leads by example. He's super physical. He can hit for power. He runs. 2 quick, funny stories in the last couple of weeks. The first day of tryouts, he's like, I don't know, 2-3 days removed from basketball. We were doing timed running drills, and he was like in the third last group. And he just walked up and he said, "What's the best time?" And I told him what the best time was, and he said, "Okay." He kind of did like a half stretch and then blew it away. And then we were down in Florida, and we were playing with the lineup a little bit, and moved him over the first base, and first ball naturally straight down the line, makes the play on a spin, gets to the bag easy. And then I said, "How do you feel over there?" He goes, "I need a couple more innings and I'll be fine." So it's not I don't mean to say either of those in a sense of arrogance in any way, because he's not. He's just a quiet leader. He's physically gifted. He's got great hands. He's got great eye-hand coordination. He can kind of do a little bit of everything. So I truly do mean it when I say, and this is for every sport. If they needed him to bring the ball up, he would bring the ball up in basketball. If we needed him to play wide out, or we needed him to move closer to the line of scrimmage on defense or further away, he would have been our best option. And I know on the defensive side of the ball, where I was with Coach Watson, I had every time some sort of injuries came up in my position area in the safety spot, I would say, "Hey, I could always grab Cohen from you, can I?" And it was just kind of a running joke that you can kind of plug him in anywhere. So it's nice to have. He's well respected by his peers at Mainland, his peers at other schools, other coaches, and he deserves the accolades that he's received thus far. And he's a fantastic young man. It's a nice testament to his family also. Amber and Jake have done a fantastic job with him.
So when you talk about your team as a whole, of course, Billy Kern of Mainland Baseball with me here on Cal 1-on-1. When you talk about your team as a whole, it's interesting because when you look at the 2023 campaign, people will look at the box scores and say, okay, this team won a sectional title. They got to the state final. We're nearly state champions. But you guys won a lot of close games down the stretch, got very hot late, put together a nice winning streak. I can only imagine the stress and the heart palpitations for everybody among that within that winning streak to get to do something like that. How do you replicate that success but have it more, I guess, in a sustainable model over the course of this entire season?
I think the 2 biggest keys for us last year is consistency and feeling the baseball. We just those close games were lost defensively. It wasn't as if we got out hit or out slugged or our pitchers threw poorly. We handed games away, and that's kind of the name of the game in high school baseball. If you kind of chart out the course of your season and which games you won and which games you lost, it's more often than not going to be that you walked people or you kicked it. Very rarely do you say, wow, that team can really hit? They had 7 extra base hits and just pounded us. That just doesn't happen in high school baseball. The arms are too talented. So in all reality, I mean, the answer was we didn't field it well. And some of it's me in terms of just trying to find the right combination. And unfortunately, last year, it just took a while to find the right combination and the right mix of what was going to field the ball and while we were going to field the ball was still going to get us enough offense to win games. So I said it last year towards the end. Our catcher, Brady Arena, was playing JV in the beginning of the year. Our middle infield, the Blum brothers weren't starting there. Brian Perez was trying to win a job at third. So there was multiple positions where guys didn't really truly win full-time jobs until like early May, and then needed to get comfortable playing with together. So honestly, with coming back, we have 13 letter winners back this year, 14 when you count Luca coming over. So it's kind of going to be much of the same. I've talked to my guys about it this year. There's not going to be a perfect way to please everybody. Like I just said, I have 14 letter winners. It's going to be a balancing act of managing personalities and making sure we get the right lineup in the game. And I have a really, really great group of kids and really hard workers. So I think we have a chance to be successful. And I hope, as I said, I hope I can find the right combination in April and not wait until mid-May for that to happen.
I like the way you summed that up about how they're going to all come together. And of course, you already alluded to the championship culture at the school based on what you guys did last year. And of course, the other sports with a lot of crossover athletes. So as far as the game on the diamond this year, a couple rule tweaks. I talked to some other coaches about this already. I know the new 150 pitch count limit is now tweaked. So where if you hit that limit as a pitcher within that, I believe it's a 5-day allotment, you're allowed to finish the at bat now. And it does the same thing for a single game count, which is at 110. And of course, the technological aspect of it now, where you have the pitch count from the dugout to the catcher. Have you guys really dive into these rules throughout the course of the off season? And how's the technology, I should say, how is that affecting your game strategy going into the season?
So for us, and I know probably a lot of coaches that you've talked to, that 150 thing's not going to kind of really play a big factor. Like when we have Jake and Finn and Evan Taylor over at Ocean City and some of these big arms, St. Augustine has 2 or 3, and McIntosh at EHT, that like you're going to see them once a week and they're going to go to the 110. So, I mean, I while I understand that there was a little bit of, I guess, gray area between finishing the batter at 110 and hard number at 150, I think that's probably more for your relievers and your younger guys who are going to go in relief on Monday, might come back on Thursday, and then also you have a game at some point. Maybe they go back to back. So I'm not really concerned with the 150. We did get the technology. We used it once or twice already. That's going to take some getting used to for me in terms of muting it in between pitches.
Yeah.
And talking to it. It's nice. I kind of talking to Brady. My catcher's got a great personality, so he can kind of snap his head over, because now if like he misframed a pitch, I was getting snap his head over, and then I would go, red light's not on, I'm live, and so it was kind of funny. We're getting used to it. That's probably just going to be kind of a game-to-game thing for us. We're extremely close at Mainland. I'm probably, I don't know, I'm a foot and a half away from my computer screen. I'm probably only 5 feet away from the catcher when we're at home. So we can communicate pretty easily. But then when we get into like EHT and Spear, kind of pretty much everywhere else is much further away than us. So we'll probably only be using that on the road. It's a nice tool to have. I think that over the last couple of years, you've seen high school really following college. We're pretty much a year or 2 behind. I think it'll get in the football helmets probably by the fall of next season for the quarterback and the coach. I think it's anything to improve efficiency and improve communication is going to improve the product. So I like it. Like I said, we'll see how much we use it. it's a kind of balancing act between for us. I trust the catchers, and really we only step in on certain hitters and certain things that we want. So I don't see myself calling every pitch. I trust the guys, and I think it's part of learning back there, talking to them between innings about what they called rather than trying to micromanage.
As far as the league is concerned overall, it's a loaded conference here in South Jersey, and some coaches will say this probably is the best league in South Jersey. It's one of the best in the state when you talk about public school, a mix of public schools and private schools. You know, you guys play at the Ocean Cities, the Lower Cape Mays, the EHTs, the Vinelands, the Preps, all those teams like that. What makes this league so good? And I got to imagine for a team like yourself that has state title aspirations, playing against this high quality of baseball teams day in and day out in just this 2-county area, essentially, that's got to be a big advantage moving forward, especially once you get to the state playoffs.
Yeah, I think that what I really noticed over the last couple of years is like when I don't want to say like the Renaissance was happening, but when the schools became enormous SEC and ACC schools and Big Ten schools that our kids were going to down here around like 18, 19. And then after COVID 21, that class was huge. I think it kind of went from they're having a nice little run in South Jersey to South Jersey baseball is really good. And then specifically Cape Atlantic League is really, really strong. So what I've noticed, and I mean, I've looked at my schedule already, like splitting these series is huge. I mean, going right through it, like you were saying, St. Augustine and EHT strong and Ocean City, we're going to open with Coach Fimiani at Millville's got 3 arms, 1 or 2 that are already committed. And then we're going to cross over and play Hamilton, and Lower's been successful, as you said. So, and then Olympic Conference is who we like to kind of square off. We're going to play Lenape, Kingsway, Rumson Fairhaven in the CVC, which was the Group 2 state runner-up. I think what it does is that when you get to the playoffs, you start to see what used to be, wow, this guy's 86, 87. He's a really plus arm. You start to compare them to the guys you saw in your league. And I think a lot of our Cape Atlantic League success is that our kids are just really, really, really prepared. I think that sometimes it hurts for the postseason recognition. You'll see you won't see as many Cape Atlantic League guys all South Jersey that aren't arms because our guys will hit 310, but that's a great year. Yeah. Whereas you'll see some other guys have 47 hits, 450, and be all South Jersey. And it's unfortunate for our guys a little bit in that respect for the Cape Atlantic League. But I think in postseason play, you're going to see Group 4 favorites are going to be your Millvilles and your EHTs, and Hamilton will be in the mix. Ocean City gets mentioned with Group 3. South Jersey 3 is as strong as it's ever been. I think I was going through it with my coaching staff the other day, and we did extremely quick math, but I think there was 7 teams with a Division I arm. That was either Big Ten, ACC, or SEC. So what's going to happen is you're going to see some really, really, really good teams out in the second round, because in the second round you're going to start to see those matchups that are going to be, I don't know, ACC versus SEC, and you're going to see some 1-0 games, and that's where it goes back to what I was saying about just defense and quality of play and staying healthy also, and making sure that you take care of these arms so that they're there for you in May.
Yeah, no doubt. You might see those matchups actually in the College World Series down the line with some of these Division I arms. Coach, I'll leave you here. I'll leave you here with this. You kind of alluded to it before. You mentioned how I know it's a lot of coach speak, and it's down the line. This is June, but Mainland wins a state title in 2024. If they do, what?
I think for us to win a state title in 2024, we'll have to be successful enough to put ourselves in a good position seeding wise. I think you're going to have to be 1 through 4. And the reason I say that is so you don't have to go through the Division I arm multiple times. It's hard enough to get by a guy. I mean, guys like Jake and Evan and we just saw Ben Hudson from Shawnee yesterday or the day before, and Cherry Hill West has one, and Joe Smith has 3 at Delsey. Like, they're not supposed to lose. So someone's going to lose that day. And the idea is that you only have to be better than a quality guy like that once. So if we get ourselves in a position where we were the 9 seed last year, and round 1, we saw Fithian from Cumberland. He's a Rutgers guy. He's phenomenal. He was phenomenal, and his team blinked first defensively, and that's kind of the name of the game. But if we could avoid that in round 1, so you don't, you're going to see, I think it's going to be interesting in South 3. You're going to see some teams pitching off in round 1 if they can, so that they can get their guy for round 2. So there'll be some interesting things with the depth of the arms down the road. But for us to be there, I think we just have to put ourselves in position to get as high a seed as possible. The state semifinal is a South game this year, which is nice. So whoever wins South Jersey gets to host the state semifinal. So that'll be good for South Jersey baseball. But I think there's legitimately 6 or 7 teams that feel really, really good that they'll be there at the end. And the nice thing is, though, is we have a really, really good schedule and really quality opponents in the Cape Atlantic League that'll prepare us to see that kind of quality of team come late May and June.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. We're looking forward to watching you guys on the diamond throughout this spring season. Again, the opener on April 3rd at Ocean City against the arch rival. No better way to open up the 2024 campaign. Thanks for your time, Coach, and good luck this season.
I appreciate it, Nick, and thank you to you and Matt and everything you guys are doing for South Jersey baseball. Appreciate it.
No doubt. Billy Kern of Mainland Baseball with me right here on Cal 1-on-1.